I love it.
We have one pair of clothes and we're living out of a paper bag, and it's great.
I'm not wearing my clothes that I am comfortable in, and I just have realized that instead of focusing and being sustained by God's word, I'm more sustained and trying to draw from culture and what I'm familiar with. And so I'm already challenged in like thinking through that and like what it means to be sustained in God's word.
This is about you growing before the Lord in His Word as a person, developing where you're His workmanship. This is less about all the things that you're going to do for God and more about all the things that God's going to do in you.
I want to grow closer to God. I want to truly find out what He wants for me in my life. If that entails a total drastic change, I mean, that's fine.
Got one and a little over half loaf bread. These kind of come out of the ground.
I'm not really sure. And we got up and then we started cooking.
Fill my bucket.
It's true. No, it's already broken.
It's already like bent over.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's on. I'm gonna get it. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. We tried. I've just been learning about one of the reasons why we're doing the garden, that it's supposed to provide not only food, but also a way for money for the families and cooperatives that are working here in El Salvador with us. That really hit me hard because in the US we don't have to raise our own food and we can just go and easily find a job somewhere else. So while we're digging this garden, it's also to provide a life for students who want to study the Word. And that really impacted me.
We had tomatoes, squash, they had oranges, but we had a banana. Potatoes, hummus, tomato, what else? Chicken, obviously. And it all had to be in one dish, and that was it. And we did it.
At first I didn't really think too much of the fact that we were going to be, you know, wearing different clothes, not eating as much, not drinking as much water. I kind of was like, yeah, like I can do it. And it puts it in perspective so much more, where literally everything is stripped away and you find your sufficiency and your possession in the Lord instead of literal possessions. And it just changes everything, and it's just really exciting because I think it's just teaching me a lot.
it's funny to like want to be humbled more, and like to want to be uncomfortable, and I think I'll probably reach a limit in that, but I guess my hope for this next week is to just kind of genuinely grow.
My hope for the next week is to really follow God, like out of Matthew 7 that we just talked about today, and to just be open to what he has to say and to follow his word, but to also know who he is.
I'm really trying to focus in on what God's trying to work through all of us here, and just trying to keep in mind that what I'm doing is like for the bigger picture. It's not just for us.
So this morning we walked to the grocery store to get breakfast, and I was thinking on the way back, like, people have to walk this far. It's like 3.5 miles, walk this far to get their groceries multiple times a week because they don't have electricity for refrigerators or storage units or even space to store food, and they have to make this trip multiple times a week. And it's like we're complaining if we have to go to the grocery store once a week, and it really hit me that like they have to walk that far. I think taking that journey just helps me realize the experience that these people have just to get groceries for their family, just to get food for that day or the next day.
I'm really excited for transformation, just to see like through this humbling process what it'll do to a person, and how it'll bring you closer to God, and how you can find that reliance on Him.
I'm excited to see what's coming up next.
I am so cold. It's so cold here.
Man, it's so cold.
It's like 30 degrees.
It's so cold, guys. Our friend Anna, she is putting together a soccer league in Sitio, and right now she's having us go around to all the surrounding communities to talk to kids and their parents and just try to get the word out about it and get them signed up.
We're making some pupusas, but it's about to rain, so we're moving over here. We have some lovely pupusas if you want to zoom in on it.
Yeah,
oh, these are the pupusas. The best? Yes.
Pupusas.
The most impactful part of my week for sure was going to Antonia's. She's an elderly widow, and we put together this chicken coop in her backyard. Seeing her life and knowing more about who she is and what she's gone through, and seeing just the state in which she lives was incredibly tough. Her daughter has CP, and so it's hard to see somebody who is so loving and is so kind living in poverty. I don't know, it's tough. But I felt pretty privileged to get to help her and to get to work on the chicken coop and to build that with the guys.
About working with the kids since I've done the kids camp the past 2 days is that there's this little boy Samuel, and I just was playing frisbee with him, and afterwards he just hugged me, and I'm just ready to give that attention to those kids or that person that hasn't had their story heard.
Got to do a kids camp for the kids in the neighborhood, and it was just a lot of fun to be with them and to get to know them and be able to make them smile. I just enjoyed hanging out with the kids and making them feel comfortable, because some of them were kind of shy, but just to be able to have this joy for them and this love for them, they were able to branch out and laugh and smile and just enjoy all the things that we planned for them.
One of the many impactful moments for me was when we went to the Tacloban dump site. As soon as we got there and we climbed up the mountain of trash, before I knew it, I was surrounded by all these little kids, 8 little kids, and I was just able to spend that time with them, and they were teaching me how to dig through trash and showing me what they were looking for and telling me their stories. And the Lord really met me in that moment to be able to love them and be able to have the confidence to talk to them and to listen to them and really hear their stories. It was a real special moment, because then he showed me that with him I can have that confidence, and that's what I want to do, is show them love and to love them like Jesus.
So many people look at St. John's and think it's like a school for the kids that don't do well or can't provide for a good education. But the Lord's doing so much in that place, and there's so much hope, and He's restoring the lives of the children and the teachers there.
I was able to help with some projects at St. John's. One of those was reconstructing their shelving for their educational material. We were able to help them organize all that for the children. Another thing that I was able to help out with was reconstructing a lot of the desks. Just a blessing to be able to do those things for the children.
to teach the kids a song at APS. So I ended up just teaching them the chorus to I Am Free, and it's like I'm free to run, free to dance. It was amazing to have the joy with them and like see them sing like I am free, and it was so like freeing for me to just like connect with all of them. It really convicted my heart to be the type of person that dedicates my life to like serving those people and being the people of God that can bring the life that they deserve.
It was just really hard to think about these teachers, and like they don't really have, they don't have resources. Then the classrooms are super packed and they're dark and really hot, and the kids, they're sitting on top of their backpacks and on top of each other because they have no space. You can look at that and you can be like, wow, they're just really lacking a lot. Let's build a new school building, or let's throw money at this. And money doesn't really solve anything, and you can't just throw money at a situation and have it become so much better because it'll just fall through. But God doesn't fall through, and He builds us up to be resources, and I'm just really excited to start learning on how to be a resource for these kids that deserve so much.
I met a girl named Roti at APS. She's a 12-year-old girl in 6th grade. And Roti raises her hand. She says, the only stories I know with girls are in them are of them getting taken advantage of. But I remember looking at her and seeing her face and thinking, wow, like I want to give you a voice, but I sit in the back of the classroom just like she does and just like all those girls do. I was like, how can I give her a voice if I don't speak up in class, and if I don't use my words? So in that moment, I made a promise to the Lord. I said, okay, I'm going to learn words, and I'm going to speak up, and I'm going to sit in the front of my class, and I'm going to use my voice, because one day I'm going to look at girls and say, you are worthy, and you do have voices, and we hear you.
Has changed me the most in how I see people and how I hear people, and has given me more empathy for them and their story and how they have grown and developed over the years and what they have been through. Some moments I failed, but some moments I succeeded. So it was very humbling to even find my strengths and weaknesses in learning how to teach without materials.
So the Nashville portion really helped me out by not giving into the flesh. There's moments where, I was hungry, but I just kept pushing through because people just depended on me. It's just moments where you have to push through. If I didn't have those moments in Nashville, then I definitely would have made it in El Salvador.
This summer changed me with learning God's Word. It's given me the responsibility not only to learn more and to educate myself, but to go back and show them and teach them what I've learned from that.
It's just really cool to think about people in El Salvador and people in the United States, and how God's love is equally near to both of those people. I now understand what it looks like to be truly satisfied and fulfilled by God's Word.
Summer Internship changed me in a lot of ways, but I think the most impactful was that it gave me a way to look at life through God's eyes, and I think seeing things through God's eyes changed everything, like changed me entirely as a person.
This summer the Lord really taught me how to draw near to Him, especially in circumstances where I feel overwhelmed or alone. And He really taught me to invite Him into the situation and just draw near and just find my rest in Him.
A lesson that God showed me that I'll never forget is that I am a source of hope. God showed me the hope that is in His Word, and as a daughter who has access to His Word, I can be a source of hope to the women and children and the injustice in Uganda and even here.
right now. That's all that was perfect.
They like
They just
show me. Josie?
Just like
I cannot.
3, 2, 1.
Now. All right, ready?
3, 2, 1.